Well, these people are laughing while they're destroying. And they laugh at anybody who stands up to them. Like Sarah Palin, somebody who I admire enormously, who takes them on at every turn. These are the people I care about. These are the people I support. Real leaders who understand the Constitution and understand the dire circumstances that we face. Now ask yourselves, would your father and mother, would your grandfather and grandfather, would they stand for this? Is this the kind of country they turned over to us? One where temporary politicians who are as stupid as hell, I have demonstrated and can over and over again, really stupid, dumb people, where they get to dictate to you what kind of contract you can enter into? Ken Cuccinelli, the Attorney General of Virginia, is exactly right. They get away with this. They get away with everything. And here we hang by a thread. A thread. We know that the 4 liberal activist statists on the United States Supreme Court are going to support their hero Barack Obama. We know they want government-controlled health care at any cost. We know they will twist and turn the Commerce Clause. They will look at foreign law. They'll look wherever the hell they have to rewrite, to amend the Constitution, and specifically the Commerce Clause. Just like they did the First Amendment in the past with separation of church and state. This is how they work. They connive. So they take this little phrase in the Constitution, the history of the Commerce Clause couldn't be more clear. There are some aspects of the history of the Constitution that are a little less clear. This one is crystal clear. And they reject it. The Constitution has to be interpreted for the times, ladies and gentlemen. Has to be interpreted for the times. In other words, we need to be lawless. We need to surrender our liberty and our property and our children's future to Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid. 3 of the dumbest human beings to ever hold those offices. Oh, I'm too harsh? Sorry. If they're going to keep calling our people stupid, if they're going to keep claiming to have the intellectual high ground, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Oh, and by the way, Biden, I'll compare my IQ to yours, my transcript to yours, anything else you want me to compare to yours. I'm sure it's higher and bigger. Big dummy. They also don't like the Second Amendment. Oh my gosh, that Second Amendment, you know, the one about guns. I mean, who needs guns? Who needs guns, right? Let me read this one to you too. Let's see how confusing this amendment is for our liberal friends. Let's see here. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, should not be infringed. Now, notice that part of the sentence after the comma and before the comma that says the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Well, we need to wipe that out. We need with some liquid whiteout. We need to take that out because we all know all they meant was a well-regulated militia. They really didn't mean the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Just the right of the National Guard, the Reserve, the active military, not the people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know the history of this amendment, too. Even the former plagiarist, Lawrence Tribe, professor at Harvard Law School, he knows we're right. He has said so. The right of the people to keep and bear arms. Oh, that's so confusing. What could that possibly mean? Well, we can't have it. And so they seek constantly to chip away at that part of the Bill of Rights. They don't recognize it. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. The key to the right to bear arms. What do you want? You want people walking around with nuclear weapons? Nobody's going to walk around with nuclear weapons, you idiots. And you would obviously have laws that prevent people from acquiring nuclear weapons, you idiots. It's not like you can, you know what, I'm going to do this nuclear stuff in my basement. I'm going to build a nuclear bomb right there in my basement. These are the idiots that we have to deal with. At a minimum, this comes down to self-defense. Oh, hunting and sporting, I got all that. But self-defense, that people have a right to protect themselves in their homes, in their businesses, in their car, on the street, against predators. Predators of any sort. Who seek to physically harm them, or steal from them, harm their families or steal from them. This is basic individual self-defense at a minimum. Now, we can't have that. No. So they don't like that either. So we have leftists all over the country trying to pass laws, even now evading to the best they can recent Supreme Court precedent. You know, we also have what's called a takings clause in the Bill of Rights. Oh, yes, we conservatives are the ones that believe in the Bill of Rights, not you liberals. You believe in something else. You see, the government is supposed to reimburse you for the value of what they steal from you. Your private property. Anybody who knows even a little tinsy-wincy bit about American history knows that private property was a big deal. Big deal. I know, not anymore, but it was then. And so if the government is going to seize some of your property for a road or something like that, or today to give to a big developer to build a mall, which of course was part of redistributing wealth, which was never intended, but they were supposed to reimburse you for the fair market value. Do they? No. And then we have regulatory takings. What's that? Well, it's a taking, but because we have these massive agencies, these bureaucracies, the Interior Department, Agriculture Department, EPA, and on, who take our property. And because they're part of the federal government, you should be reimbursed for that too. But the court has said no. In most cases, no. So they don't like that part of the Bill of Rights either. The Ninth Amendment they reject altogether because that has to do with the liberty of the individual. And of course the 10th Amendment, federalism and the authority of the states, well, that simply is a dead letter. How do I know? Because the Supreme Court told us. They amended the Constitution. The 10th Amendment is non-existent. The 9th Amendment's non-existent. Part of the 1st is non-existent. Part of the 2nd is non-existent. Parts of the 4th and 5th, they don't exist anymore either. And of course the Commerce Clause, well, they wrote a new one